Have you ever been told that sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all? It might seem counterintuitive, especially in a world that emphasizes self-expression and vocalizing your thoughts. We're constantly encouraged to share our opinions, emotions, and beliefs. However, through my life experiences, I've learned that silence isn't just appropriate, it's actually wise in certain situations. In fact, I've come to believe that silence can be truly golden. Words are incredibly potent. They can heal or inflict pain, inspire or discourage, clarify or confuse. Once you utter them, you can't take them back. This is why it's crucial to choose your words carefully and understand when staying quiet is the best course of action. Throughout my journey, I've pinpointed several key moments where silence speaks louder than words, where holding your tongue reflects wisdom, self-control, and emotional intelligence. You might be thinking, but I'm an honest person. I believe in speaking my truth. I respect honesty and authenticity. However, there's a fine line between being honest and reacting impulsively, between being assertive and aggressive, and between standing up for yourself and causing unnecessary harm. This is where the power of silence comes into play. Silence isn't a sign of weakness, avoidance, or passivity. Instead, it represents strength, restraint, and the ability to think before you react. It's about responding thoughtfully rather than acting impulsively. When we pause, we create space for reflection. Consider how many times you've said something in the heat of the moment, only to regret it later. How many relationships have been strained or opportunities lost due to thoughtless words or emotional outbursts? How much conflict could have been avoided if we had just taken a deep breath and chosen silence? This is the beauty of silence. It provides a pause, creating space for thoughtful consideration of our words and actions. Silence isn't just about the absence of speech, but also about communicating through our presence, body language, and energy. It can be a potent tool for diffusing tension, preserving inner peace, and building stronger, more authentic relationships. Now let's explore 5 specific situations where staying silent can be the wisest choice. 1. When you are angry or upset. We've all been there. Someone says or does something that sets us off. We feel that surge of emotion. Our hearts race and the urge to lash out takes over. But reacting with anger rarely leads to positive outcomes. When emotions are running high, our judgment is clouded. We might say things we don't mean or escalate a situation that could have been resolved peacefully. In moments of anger or upset, silence becomes your best ally. Instead of giving in to the impulse to react, take a step back. Allow yourself time to calm down and process your emotions before speaking. Take a few deep breaths, go for a walk, or write down your feelings. When you eventually address the issue, you'll be able to communicate from a place of clarity and composure rather than from a state of emotional turmoil. In these moments, silence gives you the power to respond thoughtfully, focusing on finding a solution rather than fueling the conflict. 2. When you're tempted to gossip. Let's be honest. Gossip can be incredibly tempting. Whether it's bonding over shared complaints or indulging in a bit of juicy drama, we've all participated at some point. But here's the truth. Gossip erodes trust, damages relationships, and reflects poorly on our character. Speaking poorly of others doesn't elevate us, it lowers us. When you feel tempted to gossip, pause. Ask yourself, is what I'm about to say necessary? Is it kind? Is it constructive? If the answer is no, stay silent. Choosing not to engage in gossip demonstrates integrity, loyalty, and respect, not just for others, but for yourself. Silence in this case speaks volumes about your character and the values you uphold. It shows that you rise above pettiness and treat others with kindness and dignity, even when they aren't around. 3. When someone is grieving or struggling. When someone we care about is grieving or going through a difficult time, our instinct is often to say something comforting. We want to ease their pain, offer advice, or provide solutions. But sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is simply be present and listen. People who are grieving or struggling don't always need us to fix their problems. More often than not, they just need to feel heard, understood, and supported. By staying silent and offering a compassionate ear, we provide them with the space they need to process their emotions. Our presence, rather than our words, becomes the comfort they seek. Silence in these moments shows empathy and respect for their journey. It communicates that we are there for them without trying to rush their healing process or impose our own solutions. Sometimes it's our quiet support that helps someone find the strength to move forward. Or in heated arguments or contentious debates, when emotions are running high in an argument, it's tempting to raise our voices and fight to be heard. We all want our perspectives acknowledged, and we often feel the need to win the argument. But when everyone is talking and no one is listening, nothing gets resolved. The conversation devolves into a battle of wills, with both sides becoming more entrenched in their positions. Silence in the midst of a heated argument can be transformative. By choosing not to speak, you allow space for the other person to express themselves fully. You create a moment of pause in which true listening can happen. This doesn't mean you're conceding or giving up your stance. Instead, it's a strategic way of fostering understanding and diffusing tension. Silence allows for reflection and can often lead to a more productive, respectful dialogue. 5. When you don't have all the information. In today's fast-paced world, there's immense pressure to have an opinion on everything, even when we don't have all the facts. But jumping to conclusions or making assumptions without fully understanding a situation can lead to misunderstanding and misinformation. Sometimes the wisest thing to do is to admit that you don't know enough to comment. Staying silent until you have all the necessary information demonstrates humility and thoughtfulness. It prevents you from making statements you might later need to retract. Silence in this case is an act of patience, allowing you to gather facts before forming or expressing an opinion. Silence is often misunderstood as weakness or passivity, but in reality, it is one of the most powerful tools we have. It allows us to reflect, gain clarity, and choose our words carefully. It can heal relationships, diffuse tension, and build trust. By recognizing when to stay silent, we strengthen our emotional intelligence, deepen our relationships, and show respect for ourselves and others. Remember, there is strength in silence. Sometimes the most profound statements are made when we say nothing at all. In moments of conflict or heated debate, the wisest thing you can often do is remain silent and focus on listening. True listening isn't just about hearing the words someone else is saying. It's about actively engaging with their perspective without forming an immediate rebuttal or mentally preparing your counter-argument. When you listen with genuine openness, you create space for real dialogue and understanding. Even if you don't agree with the other person's viewpoint, silence offers a chance to truly consider what's being said and foster an exchange of ideas. By staying quiet and listening actively, you demonstrate that you're open to learning, reflecting, and considering different viewpoints. This approach can pave the way for a more productive conversation where both parties feel heard and respected. It shows that you're not just trying to win an argument, but rather that you're focused on finding a solution that works for everyone involved. When you do decide to speak, choose your words carefully. Express your thoughts and feelings in a calm, respectful manner. A helpful strategy is to use I statements, such as I feel or I think, instead of you statements, which can come across as accusatory or judgmental. For example, saying I feel frustrated is far less confrontational than saying you always, which can immediately put the other person on the defensive. It's important to remember that the goal of any healthy argument or debate is not necessarily to come out victorious, but to understand each other and find a solution that works for everyone. Sometimes the best way to achieve that goal is by embracing silence, allowing yourself to listen deeply and communicate with care, compassion, and clarity. 6. When you're in doubt or unsure of what to say, we've all been in those situations where someone asks us a question or makes a comment that catches us off guard. Our minds go blank, and we feel pressured to say something, anything, to fill the awkward silence. But here's the truth. There's no shame in admitting that you don't have all the answers. In fact, it's a sign of wisdom and self-awareness to say, I don't know, or I need to think about that before responding. In our fast-paced, information-driven culture, we often feel the need to respond quickly to appear decisive and to always have something to say. However, sometimes the most thoughtful and intelligent response is to stay silent, take a step back, and give yourself time to process the information. By embracing silence in moments of doubt or uncertainty, You're demonstrating that you value accuracy over speed, substance over style. When you pause to reflect instead of rushing to respond, you show that you're willing to be vulnerable, to admit what you don't know, and to seek out additional information or perspectives before forming an opinion. This creates space for deeper understanding. When you finally do speak, your words will carry more weight and credibility because they stem from genuine reflection rather than a knee-jerk reaction. In these situations, silence shows that you're comfortable with uncertainty and that you prioritize thoughtful communication. It's an act of patience, humility, and self-assurance. As we continue to explore the power of silence, it's important to recognize that choosing to remain silent doesn't equate to weakness. It is, in fact, one of the greatest signs of strength. Holding back when every fiber of your being is urging you to speak up or react takes immense self-control and emotional intelligence. It allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. Learning to embrace silence in certain situations is a practice. It requires patience and a willingness to sit with discomfort. But the rewards of thoughtful, intentional communication are vast. By choosing to stay quiet when emotions are high or when clarity is lacking, you improve your relationships, strengthen your communication skills, and foster personal growth. As you develop the habit of embracing silence, you cultivate greater self-awareness. You become more attuned to your emotions, recognizing when it's time to pause and when it's time to speak. You also nurture emotional intelligence, learning to respond from a place of calmness and clarity instead of reacting from frustration or impulse. Most importantly, silence helps you foster inner peace. It creates space for reflection and a deeper connection with yourself in your interactions with others. This peacefulness allows for genuine connection, understanding, and growth. You become a person who can trust in the power of presence and listening, rather than always needing to have the right words or the perfect response. Choosing silence in difficult moments can transform your relationships. It shows others that you value what they have to say, that you're willing to listen deeply and reflect before responding. It fosters trust and strengthens the bonds you share. When we choose to listen rather than immediately speak, we demonstrate respect for the other person's feelings and opinions. In conflict, silence can diffuse escalating tensions and prevent arguments from spiraling out of control. It shows that you're not simply trying to win, but are invested in understanding and finding a resolution that serves both parties. Over time, this creates an environment where open and honest communication can flourish. When tempted to speak harshly or criticize someone, choosing silence allows you to reflect on the impact your words might have. This reflection helps you frame your communication in a way that is constructive rather than hurtful. Silence can also serve as a tool for self-regulation, giving you time to process anger or frustration and ultimately fostering healthier, more respectful exchanges. It's important to remember that silence doesn't mean repressing your feelings or opinions. Rather, it's about choosing to express them in a way that is thoughtful, intentional, and aligned with your values. By using silence wisely, you empower yourself to communicate more effectively and with greater impact. In moments of silence, you regain control over the conversation. Instead of being swept away by emotions or pressure to respond, you set the pace and tone of the exchange. This empowerment allows you to speak with clarity, honesty, and respect. It also ensures that when you do choose to speak, your words are more impactful because they come from a place of thoughtfulness and intentionality. As you move forward, consider where you might benefit from practicing silence in your own life. Whether it's during a disagreement, when listening to a friend in need, or when you're feeling unsure of what to say, silence can be a powerful ally. Start small by noticing the moments when you feel the urge to react and experimenting with holding your tongue. Pay attention to how it feels to listen deeply, to reflect before speaking, and to allow for silence in your conversations. With time and practice, you'll find that silence can bring greater peace and clarity into your life. It enhances your relationships, helps you manage emotions, and enables you to communicate more authentically. In a world filled with noise and constant communication, learning to embrace silence is a valuable skill that fosters both personal growth and deeper connections with others. In conclusion, silence is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It is a deliberate choice to reflect, to listen, and to communicate with care. By practicing silence in moments of anger, doubt, grief, or conflict, you create the space for genuine understanding, healing, and growth. Let silence be your guide toward more thoughtful, compassionate, and meaningful communication. When we experience anger, our minds often fall into a pattern of negative self-talk and blame. It's easy to think, they always do this to me, or I can't believe how inconsiderate they are. However, it's important to remember that our thoughts aren't always accurate or helpful. Often they're influenced by assumptions, personal interpretations, and past experiences that may not be fully relevant to the current situation. A powerful technique to manage anger is to reframe your thoughts. The next time you feel overwhelmed with anger, take a pause and ask yourself, is this really true? Or is there another way to view the situation? You can also consider what an objective and compassionate observer would say about what's happening. By questioning and challenging your thoughts, you can begin to reduce the intensity of your anger and gain a more balanced perspective. It's perfectly acceptable to take time and space to process your emotions before reacting. There's no need to respond immediately, even if someone has triggered your frustration. Giving yourself permission to step away, take a walk, or engage in another calming activity can help you center yourself before re-engaging. The goal isn't to suppress your anger or pretend it doesn't exist, but rather to respond in a way that aligns with your values and your higher self. Reframing negative thoughts, avoiding gossip, supporting those in grief, managing heated debates, and pausing when unsure are practices that contribute to more thoughtful, compassionate interactions. Each step brings you closer to communicating from a place of empathy, understanding, and authenticity. Silence isn't about suppressing your thoughts or emotions. It's about choosing when and how to express them most effectively. It's about creating space for reflection, understanding, and intentionality in your interactions with others. By mastering these practices, you cultivate greater emotional intelligence, strengthen your relationships, and communicate with greater clarity and kindness. So the next time you're angry, tempted to gossip, supporting someone in grief, in a heated debate, or unsure of what to say, remember that silence, patience, and thoughtful communication are your most powerful tools for creating positive, meaningful connections. That's an excellent question, and I appreciate your openness. To be completely honest, I don't have a definitive answer at this moment. I believe this issue deserves careful thought and consideration. I need some time to gather additional information before I can provide a response that is both thoughtful and meaningful. Could I take a day or two to reflect and get back to you? By acknowledging the complexity of the situation and being transparent about needing time, we honor the importance of speaking with integrity and care. In the meantime, use this silence as an opportunity for reflection and discernment. Explore the issue from multiple angles and consider seeking out diverse perspectives. Ask yourself key questions. What values or principles are at play here? And how might different responses impact not only me, but those around me? By sitting with these questions in an open and curious mindset, you can begin to uncover deeper insights that align with your core beliefs and principles. When you take the time to pause and genuinely listen to your inner voice, you create a space for a response that is more authentic and aligned with your highest good. This process of introspection allows you to emerge with clarity and confidence, knowing that your response is grounded in thoughtful consideration rather than impulse. When the time does come for you to respond, let your words reflect the deep respect for the humanity and dignity of everyone involved. Speak from a place of humility, knowing that you don't need to have all the answers right away. True wisdom and leadership are not defined by always being right, but by being open to growth, learning, and engaging with the complexities of life. Leadership and wisdom involve embracing the uncertainties of life and committing to the messy yet beautiful process of dialogue, discernment, and personal evolution. Knowing when to speak and when to listen is an invaluable skill, one that fosters deeper understanding, compassion, and connection with others. At times, the simple act of embracing silence can be incredibly powerful. In our fast-paced world, we're often encouraged to respond quickly, to always have an opinion, or to provide immediate solutions. Yet, silence creates space for reflection, helping us navigate the complexities of life with more wisdom and intentionality. Intentional silence isn't about passivity or avoidance. It's about taking the time to care. Consider your thoughts, words, and actions. By practicing this, you not only improve the quality of your communication, but also strengthen your relationships. You become someone who listens deeply, reflects carefully, and speaks only when your words serve a higher purpose. The habit of practicing silence is just that, a habit. It's not something we master overnight, and it's not a destination we reach. It's an ongoing journey, one that requires daily commitment in each conversation, each moment, and each choice we make. There will be times when you react too quickly or say things you later regret, but this practice allows us to continually learn and recommit to living with greater awareness and compassion. Be gentle with yourself. Growth is a process, and every step forward, whether large or small, moves you toward a more peaceful, connected existence. Celebrate the moments when you succeed in practicing intentional silence and learn from the times when you slip up. Trust that each of these experiences contributes to your journey towards self-awareness, empathy, and meaningful communication. The power of silence extends beyond words. It is about the quality of presence we bring to our interactions. When we are fully present, truly listening and engaging with others, there is a profound sense of connection that transcends the words we speak. In these moments, we communicate with more than just our voices. We convey our attention, our care, and our intention through our presence. In this way, silence allows us to create an atmosphere of safety, trust, and respect. People feel seen and heard, which fosters an environment of authentic sharing and mutual growth. As you continue on this journey, strive to bring your full presence to every conversation. Listen not just with your ears, but with your entire being, tuning into the other person's emotions, energy, and deeper needs. By listening from this place of open-heartedness, we offer the other person a gift far more valuable than any words. We provide the space for them to express themselves fully without fear of judgment or interruption. In return, we build deeper, more meaningful connections. Silence can also play a transformative role in moments of conflict or grief. When tensions rise, choosing to remain silent in a moment of anger or judgment creates space for empathy and compassion to take root. Instead of reacting impulsively or engaging in blame, we give ourselves the chance to pause, reflect, and respond with understanding and kindness. In moments of grief or hardship, our presence often matters more than any words we could offer. Simply being there without rushing to provide solutions or platitudes offers a powerful balm of support. Silence in these situations speaks volumes and says, "I'm here for you and I honor your experience." As we navigate difficult conversations, whether personal or professional, practicing silence before speaking helps ensure that when we do speak, our words are thoughtful and purposeful. Silence allows us to weigh our responses against our values and intentions, ensuring that we act from a place of wisdom and integrity. By waiting for the right moment to speak, we communicate not only with clarity, but with care. At the heart of all of this is the understanding that words hold tremendous power. Every word we speak carries the potential to heal or harm, to build bridges or create divisions. This is why choosing silence, choosing to wait for the right words, can have such a profound impact. Ultimately, the practice of silence is about creating a world that reflects greater peace, understanding, and love. When we choose to be silent in moments of judgment, we open the door to empathy. When we listen with care, we offer others the healing power of being heard. And when we speak with intentionality, we contribute to a world of greater integrity and trust. As you continue to practice intentional silence in your daily life, know that every small act, whether pausing before responding or listening with full presence, ripples out into the world. These acts of mindfulness and intentionality have the power to transform not only your relationships, but the world around you. Let us go forward with a renewed commitment to the power of silence. Trust in the wisdom of your inner voice and use your presence and your words to create more understanding, compassion, and connection. By practicing silence and speaking only when it is truly necessary, you contribute to a more peaceful, just, and loving world. Remember, every word, every action, and every moment of silence matters. Each decision you make ripples out, affecting the world in ways you may never fully know. May your words and your silence be tools for creating greater love, peace, and understanding, and may you continue to grow in wisdom as you walk this path of intentional communication.